Hello, welcome to the Writing Gals. Today we're going to be talking about Kindle Vella. We're going to be answering all of your questions. So I hope you guys will leave some for us. We have a couple of questions from the Facebook group that we're going to jump into first. But while we're kind of like talking about what's going on in our lives, feel free to start dropping questions for us. So Laura, tell us about your life right now.
My life is crazy, is normal. Yeah, it's been busy. There's been a lot of hospital trips and doctor's appointments and just things that have taken me away from writing. And I think we all relate to this feeling of, I don't know, if I'm not writing, I feel really like restless, like I don't feel good within me.
Yes.
It's really weird, and yet the ideas will be like flowing like crazy, and then when I have loads of time to write, it's like the ideas are like gone. So it's been a little bit of that. I've not got as much writing done as I want to, but I am 17,000 words into my rom-com, which I'm really excited about. And I was posting a few TikToks about it just to see if, hey, do you guys like this idea? And then they were just like, I say blowing up, but they like 10,000 views or 20,000 views, and people like, yeah, we want to get it. So that pumped me a little bit more, got excited about it. And then I hurt my shoulder just by being in my 30s. I think it's like my body's just like, it's time to give you pain. So I've been like driving around, and every time I have to look left, it's like, ah. So
Laura's out
it's
there just
been
making
fun.
right hand turns.
Yes. Yeah, just going round and round in circles. So yeah, it's been a crazy time. I've been going really all in on trying to level up, and growing is painful. Oh my goodness. But I am growing, and this month has been like my third best month ever, so I'm really excited about that. So
That's
no new
great.
releases, not having been able to do much writing, but for marketing and selling, it's been going really well. So I'll take it.
That's so great. Congratulations. So,
Thank you.
Victorine, we'll talk to you. How's life post conference for you?
The conference is done. Yay! It's always such a massive thing, right? To do this conference. And then when it's all done, it's like, oh, a weight off my shoulders. But I have been able to write now that the conference is done. I've gotten 2 episodes up on my Kindle Vella story, which so excited to do that and get back into that story. And then upcoming in a couple of weeks, we're going to Story Makers. So I get to teach some classes there. And most of those are all done. The PowerPoints are all done. So I just have to kind of go in and make sure I know what I'm going to say.
Yep.
So that's good. So I'm kind of plugging away at my Kindle Vella thing, and I do have another side thing that may come to fruition that I was approached by a traditional publisher about nonfiction projects, which is exciting. So I'm not going to talk about it until it's signed on the dotted line, but it's super exciting for me. So that I may be doing that as well.
Yeah. Well, I had a great time at the conference, and it was rejuvenating and got me really excited about writing. And what I came away from the conference thinking was, I need to remember that I would rather be writing than doing like another job. So like
Yeah.
I need to start treating my writing like a job again. There was a time I was going through burnout and I needed to kind of like give myself time to heal and stuff like that. But I'm in a good place now. It's time to get back to work and start treating this more professionally so that I don't have to, eventually if I can't prop my sales up and get them going the other direction, there might come a day when I would have to look at another job. And so I'm like, no, I don't want that to happen. I like staying in my pajamas and being my own boss. And so it's time to get my butt in the chair and make things happen. But I am excited because my first Kindle Vella book is now, I've spent the afternoon formatting it to publish it on Kindle, paperback, all that sort of stuff. We'll kind of get into that from one of our questions today. And I am making progress on my vampire series. It's over 50,000 words now. And I estimate I probably have like 6 more episodes to write before I can start sending the first book's worth of that series off to my editor as I continue to publish episodes. Yeah, so it's a lot of fun. I'm excited. All right, shall we get into the content for today, which is Kindle Vella? And we just get a lot of questions about Kindle Vella because, it's the new platform in town and everybody's trying to figure out if it's for them or what to do, or some people have tried it and didn't have a lot of success, but they see other people doing it. And so we get a lot of questions about it. We'll try and answer as many as we can today. We're going to start with one that I had on the Facebook group. And Medea wants to know, what is the definition of long form? I know you get one, but do you have to decide between ebook and paperback, hardback, if you decide to put the serial in print? So this is what I was referring to when I looking at publishing my book. If you look at the content guidelines and the terms of service for Kindle Vella, the language seems very clear in one place, and then as you read down, things get a little bit tricky. And so some authors have started having trouble interpreting what that means, even though it's been clarified on the KDP community forum for Kindle Vella by KDP Sam, who is Kindle Vella's representative in that forum. Apparently there may be some Kindle KDP reps that are also confused, which is furthering the confusion in the Kindle Vella community. What Medea is asking is, once you have enough content in your Kindle Vella story that you want to then turn around and publish in other formats on, say, for example, on Kindle, paperback, hardback, audiobook, what do the rules say about that? And the rules say you can only have it in one other long form product. Are you guys getting messages?
Mm-hmm.
I am getting messages about going live, but I think we are live.
It says we're live. We're getting comments, so we must be live. I don't know what.
Why are you confused?
I think the Facebook hasn't ticked, so I think it doesn't. We're not live in Facebook.
Oh,
so maybe if we press go live, should just do that. Oh no, no, it's not.
I can't go live in Facebook at
Oh,
this point. Dina says she sees us live. Are you on YouTube? It looks like she's on YouTube.
Yeah, it looks like she's on YouTube. I wonder if we're not live on Facebook.
Can one of you go onto the Facebook group and just tell them where we are, so that anybody that's having trouble on Facebook can find their way over here? I, like a nice person, I put the link for our YouTube channel in the question post earlier. Oh no. Okay, so back to the question. So it says that you can only have your story, like an episode, like if you look at a single episode, that episode can only be published in one other long form product. Okay, which means you have to publish at least 10 of them at a time. So let's just to use those numbers. If you publish episodes 1 through 10 on Kindle, according to KDP Sam's interpretation of the guidelines, you can have that one product be like you would see your book on a product page on Amazon, where it has different formats, but it's still considered by Amazon to be one product. Mm-hmm. Because within the paperback, the hardbook, and the audiobook, you have exactly the same content. But then if you go in and you want to create from 3 books, 1 omnibus or box set, you can't do that, because that would mean that episode that you put in the first book is now included in a second product, which is the box set, which has more content. And so you would be double publishing the episodes, and you can only publish them in one product. So that currently is the best information, the most accurate information I can find. And I spent some time before coming on here trying to make sure that that is the most accurate. So have you guys heard any of the brouhaha going on about this, or am I the only
No,
one?
but I just know that things, even if we know them now as that, it may change in the future because this is so new. It's a beta thing, and they keep trying to satisfy authors, I think, because they really want content up. So it's possible they will even make that less of a thing in the future. They may be like, well, we'll allow you to do a box set. Well, I think it's a changing atmosphere. I wouldn't be too worried about it right now.
Yeah.
If you're going to take advantage of Kindle Vella, I would do it with, all your brand new stuff. So you don't have to worry about any of that other stuff. And then if you want to publish it and you're worried, just take it down from Kindle Vella. But
Yeah. That seems to be like one of the authors I saw was saying that, her box sets make up the bulk of her income. And so for Kindle Vella to make it so that she can't have a box set of her series, that it's precluding her from like the biggest source of her income for that story. So, and that makes sense. But if that's the case, then you're just as an author going to have to make the judgment call,
well, and that's your last step too, right? So first step is
be.
writing it, which you can do while you publish
Right.
on Kindle Vella. Second step, making it into an ebook. And then your last step is always making it into a box set after you've done several of them. So I see no problem in, having it up on Kindle Vella the entire time. And then when you're ready for that box set, pull it down off of Kindle Vella and put it up in a box set.
You just have to remember that you can't pull it, like you have to have a 60-day window of time before you can unpublish it. And so you just figure that out into your schedule for when you're going to be publishing all the different things. If you decide you really need a box set, then just plan on that 60-day window of time where you're going to have to wait until it can be unpublished. And if you have trouble with it being unpublished, you're going to have to work with KDP. Some people are confused and think that they should be able to pull their content down at any time because they own the content, but they agreed to the terms where KDP said you have to wait for 60 days for it to be unpublished. And that's because KDP is trying to keep their customers happy. So if they start reading a story and then all of a sudden and they've been paying with tokens, right? To read, and then all of a sudden the author pulls it down and it's gone the next day, then that doesn't make for very happy customers. And they're trying to create a good customer, approval.
And you should be worried about that too. You want your readers to be happy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Okay, so oh my goodness, my question disappeared. Hold on just a second. So we had one other comment on the Facebook page today, and it was from Jocelyn Fitch. She wants to know, I'd like to know if you have any recommendations for someone starting a new pen name on Vella without a built-in audience to send to your episodes. How do they gain traction?
Well, I did this, so I'll answer.
Okay, go for it.
I did create a brand new pen name, and I don't have really any newsletter or anything in that area, but I went ahead and put it at the bottom of my newsletter. Hey, if you want to check this story out, go over to Kindle Vella. I also did some swaps with some other authors just to get it out there. And I also didn't have a great swap for them because I'm not built in the area of paranormal romance. And so I just sort of said, if anybody, wants to put it in their newsletter, will you please? And I can mention you on social media, but I don't really have a following for that yet. Mm-hmm. So that's what I've done.
Yeah. It is tricky when you're starting a new pen name, if you're trying to keep that pen name like secret, that would change that dynamic a little bit. Yeah. But if it's not supposed to be a secret pen name, then go ahead and tell your regular readers about it, because you never know who's going to be interested in jumping on there and following something. What I've done, because I do have technically 2 pen names on Kindle Vella, is I have reached out to my regular street team, and I've said, would you be willing to be on the street team for this story, this platform, and this pen name? So it's like a whole 3 new things for them. And I've had a few people that would be willing to do it. I do think the best way to get visibility on Kindle Vella is to build a street team of people that already love your stories, already want to support you, and then you're just going to create a group where you can communicate with them. Because let's be real, like notifications from Kindle are kind of hit and miss anyway. So if you just put them together in a group somewhere, like on Messenger or something like that, you just let them know, hey, there's a new episode live. I really appreciate it if you could like and fave my book this week, and educate them on how it works. If you want to support me, this is how you can support me best. I hope you're enjoying the story. What would you like to see happening? Just kind of like make it a fun place, make it engaging, and give it a place to where you can kind of keep it refreshed and at the top of their mind. I've started receiving a few messages like, I hate Kindle Vella, dang you, I just want the story right now. When's the next episode coming out? I can't wait. This is the best ever. It's just kind of like this mix, which tells you that the story is gripping and exciting. And, it's like all of us trying to wait for a new episode on our favorite television series. We wish we could have it all at once, but we're there for the ride. So because if you can have that group, then you can kind of count on having even just a few people that are giving your story, that social proof of the likes, and then giving you faves, which is going to help potentially put you on the top fave list, which is visibility. And visibility is what you need more than anything on Kindle Vella. So try and grab, even if it's your sister or your best friend or your, next door neighbor, just try and grab a few people and just be like, would you like to be part of this? So let's see. I think we have another question from one of our viewers. How does the editing each episode work with Kindle Vella, finding an editor, editing costs versus what you see coming specifically from the Kindle Vella platform? Victorine, how are you doing your editing?
So I am self-editing and putting it up without a professional edit. I am going to then compile all of the episodes into a book and get it professionally edited before I publish. But that's just how I'm doing it, just because I want that feeling of you get it first before anybody else. And that's why you're paying for it, is you get it first. So that's what I'm doing.
Yep. I do think that readers are more friendly to the occasional typo here and there. It really depends on your confidence level with, your overall story structure. And if you feel like you're going to be able to, or your outlining process, if you feel like your outlining process is going to keep you going in a good direction, then publish it as you go, do the best you can to clean it up, and then do that final edit before you publish elsewhere. But I have done it where I have written in like bigger chunks and then paid an editor to do it. And it is more expensive to get work published that way than it is to do it like a full novel on a like word count price basis, because it's harder for an editor to edit a little sliver of your story because they don't have as much context. They can't go back and like see, oh, this is what she was doing with this, so now I have a frame of reference for what they're doing here. That it's harder for them to pick up, your inconsistencies and make your language really consistent if they're only doing it in bits and pieces. So it's a real challenge for editors unless you're just getting proofreading done. And so it's possible you could also write the whole thing, get it completely edited, and then publish on Kindle Vella if you're just a stickler about your editing, or you're not sure about your ability to get it all done in like the first go, so to speak, the way you want it to be. That just delays your timeline on getting it published in regular Kindle. And if that's fine for you, then, it's kind of like we all just have to pick what works best for us. Let's see here. Dina wants to know, what is your new pen name? I'm not sure which one if she's asking or both of us. Victorine, are you willing to share your pen name?
Yeah, I'm Angel Adams over on Kindle Vella. And my story is Angels Can't Fall in Love, or How I Messed Up My Afterlife. It's a really long title.
I love your subtitle on that. One of my pen names is Cookie Michelle because my co-writer was Cookie O'Gorman. And so at that time, Kindle Vella didn't allow you to have more. This was like in July when it went live. They weren't allowing you to have more than one author on a story. And so we decided that we were going to combine our first names because she has a cute name. So our first book is under Cookie Michelle, but now that they allow you to have 2 author names on there, I'm probably going to go in and see if I can like edit the author on it so that both of our names could be in full on there, just in case they ever link Kindle Vella projects to your regular Amazon author dashboard.
Yeah.
But my other pen name is Luna Lee, which is really fun because Lee is my maiden name and I've always wanted to use it as part of a pen name. And that's for my vampire story, the Night Bloom Academy. But it's going to be for anything I write that's fantasy or paranormal or anything like that. So I'm going to have a more like epic fantasy story that I get to start kind of soon, I'm hoping. I'm super excited about it. So those are pen names. Laura, you just have your stuff under your name on Radish, right?
Yeah.
Are you going to do anything?
I keep things simple. Oh, when it comes here, I'm all in.
She's
so
ready.
excited.
Are you going to have your project Prime to go?
No, I don't know, but I'm so excited. Like I'm listening to everything you say, thinking I'm gonna wait. I'm just biding my time. Any whisperings of when it's coming to Europe?
I just keep hearing people asking over and over again, and like you just have to wonder, are they gonna like go to Canada and then be there for a year before they open it somewhere else?
No, don't say that.
Or are they just gonna be like,
maybe it'll be July. Maybe when it's
maybe
year,
there
like,
you go.
Okay, now everyone
everybody.
Well, I'll be waiting to see if you're right. That would be super fun. And if it would just went all international all at once, that would be the best. And for all of us, because like think of the viewership that's going to add to all of our like platform.
And episodic reading is like really big in my part of the world. Like I since 2013 was obsessed with episodes. I don't know if you know the app. Oh,
I've heard you talk about it before, I think.
Yeah, because I was obsessed.
Yeah.
And actually someone mentioned about fan fiction. Fan fiction was so big when I was 14, so it must have been 2003. I wrote Harry Potter fan fiction and I was so obsessed with it. I was writing chapters like during classes at school, and then when I was taking my exams, like my actual school exams, I finished my chemistry paper like within 30 minutes, and we had 2 hours to do it, and then I made up a song about fan fiction for the rest of the time. So I'm like, yes, fan fiction. So I cannot wait for Vella. I think it's just such a fun. I love Radish, but Radish is very different to Vella. And I love that Vella is connected to KDP and that you have everyone sort of in the same place. Like somebody on Radish commented on my video, on my story, saying, "Oh, this is so expensive," and I wrote a reply and was like, "Well, you can find my book on Amazon." And then Radish deleted it and said, "You've gone against community guidelines because you just told people that your books are on Amazon." So can't wait.
I really do need to go put my stuff up on Radish because there's nothing stopping me from doing that.
Yeah.
Even if it was just like a nickel and a dime.
I would suggest reach out to Radish and see if you can negotiate a deal with them and get them to do it for you, because like I just got a paycheck for Radish and it was for $50 and I was like, yay! But I've been up on Radish for 6 months. So that's what we're, without the bonuses or anything like that, it's very difficult to get traction on Radish.
Well, I mean, even on Kindle Vella, because I've been on there since July, so coming up, like what is that, 9 months or something like that? And if it wasn't without the bonuses, I would have only made like $350 on there, just in the royalties. And so it's there. That's why we need more people. We need more people in the platform spending their tokens so that eventually we can get to where it can be self-sustaining for sure. Let's see, do we have any other questions? Somebody wants to write Harry Potter fan fiction with you.
Yeah. Also besties.
There's a
Shannon
girl
asked, how do you plot?
Oh, Oh, I didn't see that one.
It's up.
Oh,
yes.
way.
There we go. Question. How do you plot? Do you plot per episode or in chunks? I'm so confused on serials. Yeah, I'm having to plot a lot more writing with Kindle Vella because I am publishing as I go. So I have, for me, a bare bones episode, like outline for the whole series because I'm writing it as one long story and then breaking it up into books when I publish on Kindle for my Night Bloom Academy. So I know all the important milestones. And then as I'm getting closer, I get a lot more micro level on it, where like right now for my Night Bloom Academy, I'm within like 5 to 6 episodes of the end of what will be book 1 in the series when I publish on Kindle. And so I've realized, especially with that, there are a lot of things that I have not done yet that need to be there in book 1. So like I can't be just playing around with like, oh, this episode, I think I'll have them like go into this room and be alone for a minute and have this witty conversation that's super interesting and fun, but like doesn't tell you anything about the bad guy. So I've actually figured out that like I have not established who the real villain of the whole series is yet. Like I have spent this whole, and granted, I'm about to finish the first book, like I keep saying, but it's still only like 5 days of her being there. So I think that's kind of fair. But I've been hinting at all the possible villains or some of the like minor villains. And so I've realized I have to establish who the villain of the whole series is and what it is that they're up against before I get out of this first book. And so
you and I are writing the same thing. I am exactly the same way. My days are like lasting episode after episode, and I still haven't revealed who the big villain is yet. So I'm just right there with you.
There's so much world building you have to do in fantasy and paranormal like this. So yeah, so I do plotting much more in depth within like 5 episodes or so, if that makes sense. So I'm like, it's almost like I have my big plot points, and then as I'm getting closer to them, I go in and I fill in information. And I've also, I tend to, even when I edit regular books, a lot of my plotting is like going backwards and looking at things, and I outline after I've written them, if that makes sense, as part of my editing process, because then I can visualize what I've actually done and see where my holes are or any weaknesses in my plot. And so that's what I've been working on now with my vampire story, is I'm going in episode by episode in my Supernote, and I am just writing down all the things that I did that just like popped into my head while I was writing it. Like, oh, she has a butterfly keychain from her sister that was super special to her. I haven't mentioned that again. You know, all those kinds of things. So I go back in and I'm outlining after I've published all these little details so that as I'm going forward, I have that to draw upon, and I'm not having to go back in and reread my story all the time, so that I have a list of all my characters when they appear, what they're doing, like all these little things that seem to be foreshadowing or metaphorical or something to make sure that I look brilliant by bringing those to fruition at some point and down the road.
I feel like everyone should be doing that for all their books.
Yeah.
I'm totally taking that advice on board, because I have so many books that I don't remember what happened in them.
Yeah.
So yeah,
some people are really good at keeping like series Bibles or book Bibles, and I am not good at it. But like writing like this, I'm gonna have to be better about it.
I'm keeping notes because I'm a pantser completely. So
Yes.
after I write a chapter, I have to write notes on it.
It's just I haven't gotten to where I'm good at doing it, you know, right after I've written, and so I keep having to go back and do it in chunks. So, well, I'm trying to think about Kindle Vella. Some questions that people have a lot. One of them tends to be just about, like, do I have to like publish live or schedule? And so like there's the option that you can publish live, and that's kind of what I've been doing for a while there was this big hiccup with the live publishing. Did you have trouble with that, Victorine? Like
It just took like 2 days sometimes to publish. I haven't had trouble other than it just taking a long time. It seems to be way better now.
Yeah, there were days that it would say live for 2 days and then not actually be live.
Oh.
So there was a hiccup. There was a hiccup for a little while, but that seems to have passed by and isn't a problem anymore. So my goal is to get scheduled like the next 5 or 6 episodes, like to the end of this book, so that I can put the story away for the month of May and write my rom-com. And also, for any of you who don't know, they've added polls that you can add.
I have a question about that. I created a poll and I have no idea how to see what people are saying.
So go to where you manage your story, click on manage your story, and go to that episode where you put the poll on it, and it will have these little part that says view poll in the little rectangle that has that episode.
I just went there and I don't see it. What happened? If it's done, do you not see that anymore?
Yeah, I could see the results as soon as I posted it, as soon as it went live, and I would watch
something
the
wrong
numbers
with
change.
my poll.
Oh, you need to open up the episode and see if it actually got on there.
Well, I did do that too, and it is on there, but I don't know what happened to it.
Has no one voted?
Weird.
What if no one's voted?
It still should show.
Oh, okay. That would be super awkward. If it was like no one voted.
I don't know. I just have something weird with my thing, I guess.
It must be. Hold on. I'm gonna see. Make sure that we're looking at the same thing. So I'm going to my episode and clicking manage your story, and then where's the camera? Where's the episode? So do you see it's got...
Okay, I can screen share, I think.
I could too, except I was afraid I'd mess it up.
Oh, snazzy. Yeah, I want to see this because I don't get to see any of this. This is excellent.
You know what, though? It's not showing there on mine anymore.
Yeah, mine's it was there a while ago and then it just disappeared. So I don't know what happened.
This just breaking.
It's
the poll results have been moved.
It's a mystery.
Like, I wasn't even looking at it because I was so sure it was there.
No
Okay.
way.
I wonder if it's like a hiccup or if they seriously did move it. Okay, we'll find it.
We'll find out.
You'll hear first.
I have a question because I don't know any of this. When readers see your story, is your name clickable? And do you have like a landing page for you and then your other Vella stories?
No, your name is not clickable unless you make it a tag. Ooh. So you can put the 7 tags on your story and you can make your name a tag.
Okay. So and then where does it go?
So then if you clicked on it, it would pull up on a page a list of all the stories that have that tag. So all of your stories. If you go and read the content guidelines for the tags, it specifically states that you cannot use other authors' names for your tags.
Okay.
And I still have to get in contact with KDP because I want to know if it's my pen name, can I use it?
Oh, yeah.
You know? So, like, they could see, like, Michelle Pennington is using a Luna Lee tag.
Right. Yeah. And the bots might get you.
But the bots might get me because they don't know that it's me. It's my pen name. But at the same time, I would love it if my readers could find a way to, like...
Yeah, right. See your other stories.
My other pen names and read my other stories on there if I wanted to do that. So, it is a question.
Yeah.
We have a couple
We have some more questions, too.
Okay. Do any of your stories mix mystery in with the romance? So like romantic mystery, not romantic suspense. Also, do you think that would help readers stay tuned for the next episode?
I think it's a great idea. Do it.
I have 2 books that are romance with mystery. So now I'm like, oh, maybe I should put them on Radish. Because, obviously the idea of romantic mystery, which is like a very small subgenre, I learned that not many people write that. But it really does get readers like hooked in.
Yeah.
I think why not? Give it a go.
The suspense element with the cliffhangers and all that kind of stuff at the end of each episode is what keeps them clicking. So there's only so many times you can leave them like, oh, are they going to kiss or not?
Oh yeah,
You know, like having it. I think that if you want to have a long running Kindle Vella story, which is the best way to keep it profitable and keep it visible, is to just keep it going, is to have those mystery plots. And like when I watch Chinese dramas, we always go back to the dramas. I've noticed that they tend to have sort of sections in their story plot where there's like this overarching plot of like growing up, right? And within that, they'll have like all these sections of things that are happening in that part of the story. Like it will be like their last year in school, our version of high school, and then preparing for the big test, and then like their freshman year of college, and then like some big mean person's trying to destroy their reputation, and that happens for 5 or 6 episodes, and then like they decide to get married and have to go meet the family and all this, you know. So it kind of like has all these different sections, and I am planning to kind of do that with my next contemporary romance on Kindle Vella, where it's going to have romance, but it's going to have like all these sections with like these like villains that come in, antagonists, or like mysteries, or problems that they have to solve, or crises that are just part of the overarching romantic plot. Because like it's, once you have people following your story, you want to keep them paying with tokens, you know?
Yeah.
So like keep the story fresh and keep things exciting and keep them guessing. Do cozy mysteries do well on Vella? I haven't paid enough attention to cozy mysteries to speculate on that, or to say if you publish a Kindle Vella, it will do well. What I would tell you to do is spend time on Kindle Vella looking at what is doing well there. You can look at the top faved list, which is the quickest way to see what is popular. So it's the top 250 books that readers themselves are saying are their favorite stories. And so you can count in there how many cozy mysteries you find and kind of get your answer that way. But that's not to say, even if they're not, that you couldn't come in there with something that just really grabs people's attention and would do well. That's the fun thing about Kindle Vella, is that I think anything could do well, especially fiction. I don't know how well nonfiction's doing, but like I think people are pretty eclectic readers. From what I have gathered, people tend to follow a lot of different kinds of stories rather than sticking to only sci-fi, for example. It seems to be a lot more experimental crowd, if you know what I'm talking about. Like they're just willing to try things that pique their interest. Let's see here. Is Vella better for the mid-novel length stories? I write romantic fantasy novels that come in 80 to 100,000 words a book. Would that be too long? Not only would that not be too long, but I would even say, in my opinion, that your entire series should be one story on Kindle Vella, even if that ended up being like 800,000 words, for the reasons that I mentioned before. I've seen other authors that tried to break up each book in their series into a separate Kindle Vella story, and they do not have much success in moving the readers over to that new
From
story.
one to the next.
Yeah.
I would say keep it one too. And the problem you may come up with if you write huge fantasy novels is you may not have that series type story arc where it's shorter, because some fantasy novels have these big massive chapters and it's harder to break it up into like what a serial would be. So you would have to write with that in mind. You would want to write shorter and have that really hooky ending to keep people reading.
But as far as how many episodes are too long, I don't think that there's anything that's too long. I think in other episodic fiction platforms, people have had, like 1,000 episodes on the story, because once people are following the story and they like where it's going, they're going to keep reading. And just think about it. Like when they get to what would be your book 1, if next week they get the first episode of the book 2, how thrilled are they going to be, instead of waiting for like a year for book 2 to come out or something like that. It's a really good idea to get them hooked, keep them hooked. And like, keep them with you for as long as you can. So, yep, I think that is all of the questions that we have today. Does anybody have anything else they want to share about Kindle Vella? I'm excited about the platform still. I when I get around other authors, sometimes I see people sort of having this a negative attitude about it. It really depends on sometimes their experience on the platform, where they maybe had a hard time getting their story moving at all. And I think you just have to understand, one of the best parts of Kindle Vella is just that it motivates you to keep writing. Just look at it as a way to like keep yourself going, get your story like out there and keep it moving. It's motivating for me. And honestly, I would probably keep going with it even if nobody was reading my story, because for me personally, it's a lot more dynamic than it just sitting alone on Word doing nothing. So, but at the same time, just understand that the platform is so new. It's in beta. They're really, compared to what I think the future holds for it, there's not that many people on it yet. So the reader base is smaller. But there are a lot of authors jumping in. So there's getting to be more and more content. So you might look at that as competition, but really it's what's going to keep this platform alive. If there wasn't any content on Kindle Vella, then none of us would have a chance in the future. So it's really, really good. And that's why I'm always telling authors, like, give it a try. See if it's for you. If it's not, maybe it costs you a little bit of time. But try it out, because it has a lot of really good things going for it. And we don't know what's to come. So hopefully Lori gets to get on there someday soon.
I hope so.
I can't wait. I cannot wait, honestly.
I can't either. All right. Well, thanks for joining us today. We hope that if you enjoy this podcast and the other videos that we have up on our channel, that you will subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you know when we're going live. Apparently today that's doubly important if you are in our Facebook group, because we can't guarantee that it's going to go live over there. But we'd love to have you guys coming back for more of our Writing Gals content. And we'll see you later.
Bye.